Hare Krishna, Vamsa Prabhu. Am I okay to start?
Yes, Mataji.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudirayet. Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtapraya Sabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotee, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Dhruva Maharaj leaves home for the forest, text 69 to 71. Text 69. Shudushkaram karma kritvam lokapaler api prabhu aishyati achirat rajan yasho vipulayam stavam. Synonyms. Shudushkaram, impossible to perform. Karma, work. Kritva, after performing. Loka palay, by great personalities. Api, even. Prabhu, quite competent. Aisyati, will come back. Achirata, without delay. Rajan, my dear king. Yashaha, reputation. Vipulayan, cause him to become great. Tava, your. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear king, your son is very competent. He will perform activities which would be impossible even for great kings and sages. Very soon, he will complete his task and come back home. You should know that he will also spread your reputation all over the world. Purport. Here in this verse, Narada Muni has described Dhruva Maharaj as Prabhu. This word is applicable to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sometimes the spiritual master is addressed as Prabhupada. Prabhu means the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and Pada means post. According to Vaishnava philosophy, the spiritual master occupies the post of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or in other words, he is the bona fide representative of the Supreme Lord. Dhruva Maharaj is also described here as Prabhu because he is an acharya of the Vaishnava school. Another meaning of Prabhu is master of the senses, just like the word Swami. Another significant word is Suduskaram, very difficult to perform. What was the task that Dhruva Maharaj undertook? The most difficult task in life is to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Dhruva Maharaj would be able to do that. We must remember that Dhruva Maharaj was not fickle. He was determined to execute his service and then come back. Every devotee, therefore, should be determined that in this life he will be able to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead and by that process go back home, back to Godhead. That is the perfection of the highest mission of life. Text 70. Maitreya Vacham Iti Devarshina Proktam Vishrutya Jagati Pati Raja Lakshmin Anadrityam Putram Evan Vachintayat. Maitreya Vach, The great sage Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Devarshina, by the great sage Narada, Proktam, spoken, Vishratyam, hearing, Jagati Pati, the king, Raja Lakshmi, the opulence of his big kingdom, Anadrityam, without taking care of, Putram, his son, Eva, certainly, and Vachintayat, began to think of him. Translation. The great Maitreya continued, the king, Utanapada, after being advised by Narada Muni, practically gave up all duties in relation with his kingdom, which was very vast and wide, opulent like the goddess of fortune, and he simply began to think of his son Dhruva. Text 71. Tatra vishikshaks prayatas tam uposya vivavarim samahita paryachara rai adeshan purusham. Synonyms. Tatra. Thereupon, Avishikta, after taking a bath, Prayataha, with great attention, Tam, that, Uposya, fasting, Vibhavarim, night, Samahita, perfect attention, Paryacharat, worship, Rishi, by the great sage Narada, Adeshana, as advised, Purusham, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Translation. Elsewhere, Dhruva Maharaj, having arrived at Madhuvana, took his bath in the river Jamuna and observed fasting in the night with great care and attention. After that, as advised by the great sage Narada, he engaged himself in worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport. The significance of this particular verse is that Dhruv Maharaj, the great sage Narada, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also advises that if we want to be successful in our attempt to go back home, back to Godhead, we must very seriously act according to the instructions of the spiritual master. That is the way of perfection. There need be no anxiety over attaining perfection, because if one follows instruction given by the spiritual master, he is sure to attain perfection. Our only concern should be how to execute the order of the spiritual master. A spiritual master is expert in giving special instructions to each of his disciples. And if the disciple executes the order of the spiritual master, that is the way of his perfection. Om Agyatmanandasya Ganam Jalasalakaya Chakshurumiritam Jena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutare Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Good morning. Thank you again for engaging me in this inspiring service. Yesterday, Manmohan Sri Jagannath Das Prabhu very nicely explained the dilemma of King Utanapada, his repentance, his acknowledgement of having been trapped by Maya. And just like him, many times we also fall prey of Maya, who is testing us at every step. King Utanapada's remorse is an important lesson in the Bhagavatam, demonstrating the importance of dharma, the duty, over personal attachments, and the need for parents to show love and support to all their children equally, regardless of their circumstances or the influence of others. This is an extremely important message. It also sets the stage for Dhruva Maharaja's subsequent determination to seek the blessings of Lord Vishnu through severe austerities, ultimately leading to his spiritual enlightenment and recognition as one of the greatest devotees of the Lord. All this is a reminder of the potential consequences of allowing worldly attachments to cloud one's judgment and the importance of acting with compassion and fairness. But then Narada Muni is assuring the king that while instructing him actually, that your son is very competent. He will perform activities which would be impossible even for great kings and sages. Very soon he will complete his task and come back home. You should know that he will also spread your reputation all over the world. So Narada Muni is revealing that Dhruva Maharaj is destined, well, little Dhruva, not a Maharaj at that time, but little Dhruva is destined for great things, and that his actions will bring immense fame and honor to his father and the entire lineage. The use of very soon suggests that Dhruva's return will not take as long as one might expect, despite the intensity of the austerities that he's about to undertake. This is meant to comfort the king, King Uttanapata, and because he's worried about his son's well-being. A very important thing to note in this verse is how it highlights the power of of the determination of a pure devotee, the intention, and the intention is right, proven how even a young child can surpass the greatness of kings and sages when guided by unwavering faith and the blessings of the spiritual master. So faith and trust are key words in here. Let's remember that actually Dhruva's original mission was to seek revenge. He was hurt. He wanted to have a kingdom bigger than his father's and even grandfather. So his original intention was not focused on the Lord, but rather in material success. However, by the mercy of the spiritual master, he receives instructions that will lead him to the real treasure. Such is the power of the instruction of a bona fide spiritual master. And the bold word here is bona fide spiritual master. This, along with sincere devotion to God, can lead to extraordinary accomplishments, far beyond what is ordinarily possible. So Dhruva is addressed as Prabhu, and Srila Prabhupada has given ample explanation on this word, and in this case, particularly, the significance given is Acharya, and added to Sudushkaram, something very difficult. And indeed, he was about to embark on a very challenging, difficult task, but had faith and, of course, the blessings of the spiritual master, Narada Muni, and the mercy of the Lord, of course. Nothing happens without the sanction of the Lord, who understands, knows our wishes, but better yet, our needs. In the next verse, we see that after receiving advice from Narada Muni, the king undergoes a profound transformation in his priorities and actions. When Narada Muni gave the king insights into the future and the greatness that his son would achieve, this divine knowledge brought a change in the king's perspective, shifting his focus from worldly responsibilities to a deeper spiritual contemplation. So King Uttanapata was ruling uh, over a vast and prosperous kingdom filled with material wealth and grandeur. It is stated that it's similar to the riches of Lakshmi Devi. So despite this, the king chose to neglect his royal duties. This reflects the depth of his emotional turmoil and the overwhelming concern he felt for his son. The decision to abandon his royal responsibilities shows the king's transformation from a ruler focused on material affairs to a father consumed by thoughts of his son's well-being. So how is this possible? Internal conflict can arise when we are faced with the consequences of our actions, especially in family and relationships. That happens to us. And what happened then? Guilt. So here, and guilt is very detrimental for any spiritual endeavor. So here, King Uttanapada's decision to give up his royal duties shows the extent of his guilt and love he had for Dhruva, despite his earlier negligence. So, in introspection and valuation, we can also see the power of the instructions of a bona fide spiritual master. Narada Muni's words were just not comforting, they played a significant change in the king's consciousness. We can observe how nicely, actually, Srimad Bhagavatam is teaching us the difference between material duties and spiritual responsibilities. The king's neglect of his kingdom in favor of contemplating his son's fate serves as a reminder of the temporary nature of material wealth and power, actually, compared to the eternal importance of spiritual relationships and duties. Everything in the material realm is just temporary. So we should let's try to make a better investment. The story of Dhruva Maharaj emphasizes the deep bonds of love and responsibility between parent and child, and the potential for redemption and spiritual growth, even after making mistakes. And Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur advises that the path to spiritual perfection lies in strictly following the instructions of the spiritual master. The relationship between the disciple and the spiritual master is built on trust and faith. Again, trust and faith. The disciple must have full confidence that by following the spiritual master's instructions, they will be led to spiritual perfection. This trust is exemplified by Dhruva Maharaj's unwavering faith in Narada Muni's guidance. The same faith we have seen in Srila Prabhupada's sincere and determined execution of the instructions of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. And Srila Prabhupada said, there is no reason why you could not go back home, back to Godhead in this life. Just follow my instructions. So he has the key to the back door. So if we develop enough faith in the instructions of Guru, if we develop enough love for Krishna, if we understand and embrace the formula given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and share it to the world, and the one that was shared to the world actually by Srila Prabhupada, in his words, we will be able to go back home, back to Godhead. He has the key again. And yes, the real benediction, the real protection is to always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. This material world is said to be padam padam yavi padam natusham. Dangerous is there in every step. So everyone in this material world is struggling hard for sense gratification. Let's try our best to make the right connection, have the right intention, actually attention to intention, and develop sincere and strong faith. Serve our spiritual master not only when we are in his presence, but at all times. That actually will be the test. Narada Muni was not there with Dhruva Maharaj while he was doing his penance. Of course, he was watching, but he was not in front of him. Dhruva Maharaj did not do the passage just because Narada Muni happens to be there or on that account. It was his faith, it was motivation. So similarly, we have to learn from this. We serve as if our spiritual master is right in front of us. So I'll end here. Thank you once again for allowing me to serve Srimad Bhagavatam and kindly forgive my shortcomings. Vanchakalpatarupyascha kripa sindhu vacha patitanam